machines, hop in your TARDISes. You're listening to another episode of Doctor... Huh?
They didn't steal any time.
What? Time.
No.
How can you heist
No.
time?
Kyle XY reference. Move on.
Listen to our old podcast.
You're in a hurry. You're stealing your own time right now.
I wish I'm heisting my own time for sure.
We have to do this fast enough that we could do Sauce's message.
I'm Jordan. I'm being put into the atomic wood chipper.
Oh, I didn't have one. I'm Sam, and thing.
I'm doing a thing. Oh, it's a thing.
Shut up.
I'm
doing a thing.
Shut up. This week, we're talking about Series 8, Episode 5, Time Heist.
Yeah, that's what fucking daylight savings time did to us,
right?
By making it harder for us to record.
Folks!
Yay!
Folks! You know, Daylight
savings time was invented by Stephen Thompson and Stephen Moffat and directed by Douglas McKinnon.
Daylight savings time was invented by a New Zealand entomologist so he could have more time in the summer to go and look for bugs.
Well, I hope he's dead, because if he's not,
he's long
then
dead.
I'd have to threaten an actual living person.
But we're not going to threaten Stephen Thompson and Stephen Moffat?
They didn't actually invent... That was a joke.
Oh.
They wrote the
can
episode.
I be honest? Stephen Moffat has stolen a lot of time from me. Not as much as...
He steals every Friday evening of my life these days.
You sit down, you're like done from work, your work week's over, eat some dinner, you're like, oh, I'll play some Metaphor, Refantasio. Or I'll go watch my Kingdom Hearts video for the week, and then you remember Steven crawls into your fucking room on all fours.
Do you have any idea how often I want to be like, let's just take the week off because it's Friday night and I don't want to do this?
Steven has taken everything from us, but specifically he's taken it's only 45 minutes though. You could watch it at 2x speed like one of those podcasting champions.
I don't know how to do that on max.com.
You need to... Why don't you just fast forward your brain with the click remote?
I'm not smart enough.
Clara...
Also, I pause constantly, which doesn't help.
Clara, I've invented a funny remote.
Please. I'll take it.
This week it's a bank robbery in time.
It's a bank robbery in time in the sense that it's a bank robbery that happens over the course of history. At some point, there is a bank robbery.
There's been a bank robbery.
What did you think of this episode?
So you know how, if it kind of feels to me like Steven loves to... Speaking of banks, Steven loves to write checks that he can't cash. And this was an episode that I think was really cool.
I'm putting up a picture of Stephen Moffat on the wall of my room.
Yeah,
do not watch episodes by this man. He writes bad episodes.
I was watching it like, ooh, this is such an interesting premise. They've got no memories. They're robbing the biggest, most secure bank in the universe, and it's on a planet.
That's what they told me.
That's what they said they were doing, and boy, I would love to see how they arrange that bank heist. And then what I saw was mainly an episode about them sort of going from one room to another. And
what if there were vents, one hallway, and computer terminals that could only be hacked by the guy that they have with them?
That's one of those cyberpunk guys with a little cord in his head.
I'm being very harsh. I didn't hate this episode.
No, it's fine.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
I think this could have been a great episode, except that they didn't have, the vision for it.
So everybody knows that the good thing about a heist story is learning why it's going to be difficult, going through what the challenges will be, seeing how they address them all ahead of time, watching them execute everything perfectly until something goes wrong, and then how do they get back on track. That's the sort of traditional formula of an exciting heist. And Stephen Moffat said, I'm going to subvert that, which is fine.
What if the people doing the heist are stumbling across the objects that will allow them to do the heist as they do the heist, but also none of the things that they're getting around are visually or conceptually interesting? You would think
right, and it's I'm okay with the idea of a heist story that's it was all planned out ahead of time, and we're not piecing together the heist. We're piecing together what happened to get us to the heist. That's a cool idea, but it doesn't help that what that ends up being is stupid and boring, and then the heist is also stupid and boring.
It was just like, how are we gonna get through this wall? And then they just like blew a hole in the wall with a special bomb. And then they're like, how are we gonna get past this this unbreakable lock? And then it's just like, oh, the lock just opens.
It turns out that the lock turns off if you're here at the right time.
like I really truly think that this was a problem of just they didn't make the heist interesting to look at.
Right. I think that they could have done this same idea in a way that was cool and exciting. I think it just needed the heist to actually be cool and exciting.
I'm in the TikTok generation. I can't if someone isn't like jumping on a subway train every 10 seconds, I'm checking out. I'm going to sleep.
I'm not on that level, but you know what it reminded me of more than anything?
What?
Was being a kid on a playground and doing the thing where you're like pretend sneaking around on the playground with your friends at lunch, and you're like, and now we have to get through this computer terminal. And then your friend is like, I can hack it. And then they're like, I hacked it. And you're like, nice. And then you resume pretending to sneak around.
No, because at least when we did that, like I don't know about you. First of all, when I did that, I was wearing my very cool rain jacket that had all the pockets. So I kind of pretended that was my my agent jacket. Because it had all the pockets and you keep all your gadgets in there. But like, at least then you would go up on the jungle gym and you would be like, the laser system is active.
Oh my god, you're right. This episode needed a jungle gym.
This episode needed monkey bars.
Oh my god, can you imagine though if over the course of the episode, the heist gets more and more playgroundy, and then it's revealed that this is just like Clara as a child
largest playground. It would be like, we have to access the escape tunnel. And then they slide down a big slide.
We've been doing more impressions since we stopped doing the impression segment. And I think that we're free.
We're free, no, yeah. That was dragging us down. It felt
we cast off the training weights.
It felt like I was we've gotten good enough at doing the voice that we don't feel like we have to train anymore. We have to swing over the gap. And then it's like monkey bars. Clara, push me higher.
Clara, there's a laser whip that you're gonna have to jump over, and it's going around and around. There's two guards standing on either side holding the whip, and we have to stand in between it and jump up and down in unison.
The alarm bell. It's been 20 minutes. We have to go back inside.
The episode begins with Clara getting ready for her first date with Danny Pink, and the doctor, because this is alien Dr. 12, is like, why is your face have color and your heels are taller than usual? And that's funny. But then the TARDIS phone starts ringing. And I love that Stephen Moffat came up with the idea for the phone ringing and was like, that would be so cool because nobody calls the phone. And then he had it happen like 5 times.
Nobody ever calls the phone. And whenever people call the phone, it's not like, it's me, hello, sweetie. It's me, River Song. It's always like, just some guy that you've never heard of before. And
or Clara.
Or Clara. We don't know. Actually, we still don't know how that person got the TARDIS number. Do you think that's
I'm assuming that it was either River or it was Missy.
Yeah, it must have been.
I'm assuming it was Missy because this was when they were doing the Missy storyline. So it was like, who's this mysterious person?
Who's this mysterious
Who's
Missy?
this mysterious person?
So
Clara says, don't answer the phone or something will happen. And he says, what will happen? And she says, a thing.
Sorry, outfit watch real quick, because part of me thinks, and listen, I don't know the 2010s date protocol for 20-something women on a British TV show, going out with Danny Pink, who's gonna do a backflip when they go to dinner.
Oh yeah.
Clara is wearing a business suit. She looks good, and then she's wearing a pop punk tie that's not all the way tied, and that was the part that I was kind of raising my eyebrow at. Was that a thing? Sam, do you know if that was a thing?
Dong.
Thing?
Dong.
Was that a thing? Because
Dong.
part of me thinks
Dong.
that they were...
Sorry.
Part of me thinks that they were like, well, she's going on a cool bank heist, so we have to have her in a cool bank robber outfit.
I'm getting ready for my date, putting on a black and white striped sweater.
putting on her ski mask.
Let me just grab my purse. Grabs a sack with a $sign on it, even though she lives in the UK.
Nobody knows what their money is over there.
Anyway,
Okay.
this is a very Stephen Moffat moment because the doctor reassures Clara, nothing happens when you answer the phone, a thing that nobody would ever say. And the second he picks up the phone, we smash cut to them in what looks like some kind of interrogation room. They're holding big worms and they both scream in surprise and drop their worms. What we find out immediately...
Yeah, go ahead.
This isn't just a smash cut for us. This is a smash cut for them, because the worms have just wiped their memories. So they don't know how they got here.
I don't know about you, but, like, there are many things that can happen when you pick up a phone. I always get a little anxious when I'm answering a phone call from someone I know, because it's like, why are they calling me? Who died?
Okay, well, that's a problem that our mom put into you.
Is that just me? Oh, no.
I mean, it's a problem that I know that I have to mitigate whenever I need to talk to her about anything.
So they're all holding worm. There's 4 people. 2 of them are the people that we know, the doctor and then Clara. And they're all, they all have lost their memory. There's a guy who's got, he's got a fucking PCIe cable coming out of his head.
He's a cyborg named Psy.
That's a very creative name, Steven. Great job. I know that there were 2 people named Steven who wrote this episode. That's really good because I can accredit all the things I don't like
right.
about it to either Steven. And then there's another lady named Cybra. And
I think
then
it's Sabra.
Sabra.
Surely it's not Psy and Cybra.
Cybra, you're right. It's Sabra. And then they're all freaking
There's
out.
There's a recording that plays from this like briefcase in the middle of the table that says it plays their voices saying, "I am wiping my memory of my own free will."
Can I tell you something? The second this man came on the screen, or this character came on the screen, and he's wearing a robe, and he goes, "I am the architect." I was like, oh, that's 100,000,000,000%. That's definitely the doctor, right? That's definitely the doctor.
My assumption for the whole episode was that it's either the doctor or it's the person who runs the bank. What is happening here is that a man in a hoodie with a distorted voice...
We only know one guy who wears a hoodie, Sam.
Someone else could put on a hoodie. I believe in them.
The doctor famously wears a hoodie. It's one of my
not to spoil anything, but a person, a figure, a silhouette on the screen says, "I am the architect. You are in the most secure bank in the galaxy, the Bank of Carrie Bradshaw." And he goes through the it's Carabraxos.
Carabraxos, yeah.
He goes through the incredibly elaborate, unbreakable security systems, including DNA breathalyzer locks, which is interesting.
That never came into play. He basically
No, it does. We see it used like twice.
No, but we never see them have to like crack it or get past it.
No, because again, this is a heist that has all been pre-planned for them, so there's no problem solving. The problem solving happened ahead of time.
This is the part which kills me, is that he's like, here are all the things that we have already circumnavigated.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, okay, thanks.
Here's all the interesting bank security that will not factor into this episode. He says, like, nobody is allowed to access planet surface without being cleared first. Like, nobody, and there's breath.
And here you are.
Yeah,
so that problem was already solved. We never even addressed, like, how they ended up here. They're just like, you're here.
It drives me crazy. Surrounding the planet is a field of giant lava piranhas that will vaporize your ship instantly.
Yeah, again, I'm not inherently against that. I was waiting for a cool, interesting payoff, and that never came. Because it turns out that it really was just like, no, it was planned ahead of time.
Right.
Oh, okay. There's not really anything interesting with that. It just that's what it was.
They're here to rob the bank, and what they don't know is that the bank robbery is already in progress because a security guard starts banging on the door. By the way, whatever the opposite of MVP is for all the security guards at this bank who see that people are trying to rob the bank and they just knock on the door.
It's the most secure bank in the galaxy, run by the stupidest idiots in the galaxy.
They're like banging on the door. Stop that! Knock it off!
Stop robbing it!
We're coming in there on the count of 3.
I do. It's a very Steven line, but I did think it was kind of funny. The security guard basically being like, "If you open the door now, I will kill you in a very nice way." Please.
You know when I like that line, but when you say it like that, that is very you have sort of cut to the Steven part of it. I can imagine Missy saying that.
But okay, this is where the heist that has been very hyped up in the last couple minutes immediately trips and falls on its face, in my opinion, because we learn that Psy the cyborg is a cyborg, and it's like, okay, so we're in a room with no exits except the door that the guards are currently banging on. So how are we going to get out of this? Like, that's okay. That's already interesting.
Hey, I found another door!
Yeah, Psy just downloads the architect's information that has been provided, and it's like, oh, we can leave through this other door.
Every time they need a solution, they choose the most boring solution possible. That's what I'm saying. It's like everything about this episode would work if they didn't fuck it up. Like, that's my problem. It's crazy. Maybe it's a budget problem. Like, maybe it was like the people won't be able to appreciate this while they're hiding behind their couch. I'm not sure, but like, why do they keep choosing the most boring fucking answer possible?
I also want to begin a running thread through this episode, which is me making fun of the layout of this bank, because they are in like some kind of shadow. Again, it looks like an interrogation room, which makes me think that this is like where they take people who break in. We never find out what this room is. It's just the room that looks dramatic for them to wake up in. There
are so many rooms and places in this bank that are just like, it's the tunnel room.
Right, and they leave through the, I guess, other door. Is it a vent? I don't remember if we even really see how they leave.
No, I don't think I think they just kind of exit off stage right.
But it takes them just like directly into the like lobby in the entrance.
Listen.
And yeah, I don't know. But then we go to the office of the head of security, Miss Delphox, who is going to be in the episode for the whole time. So get to enjoy Delphox, please.
Is she a Pokemon? Isn't that a Pokemon? Isn't there a Pokemon called Delphox?
Dustox?
Delphox?
Dustox.
Delphox.
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 Fanfy. It's a fanfy. And
there is a Pokemon called There is a Pokemon called Delphox. So this is a Delphox.
This is a Delphox. Picture that if you know what it is. I don't. And she contacts one of the guards who is banging on the door and says, "Report." And he says, "Huh? Who are you? I found a really cool worm." And she goes, "Oh boy." So we've already established the security in the most secure bank in the galaxy is trash. Hey, well, that's one problem ticked off the list.
I just feel like is it Jeremy of me? Am I being a bit of a Jeremy?
Yes.
When I say,
and you're right.
When you find a horrible giant worm on the ground, that your first response, toddler style, is to pick it up and put it in your mouth. Like, are you sure about that? I feel like from my experience on Earth watching movies, which I'm sure these guys do because we all love a classic movie, worms, like I think of Star Wars, I think that worm's gonna poison you. Don't touch the worm.
I mean, I just wouldn't, if I saw a worm, I wouldn't pick it up.
He's a bug guy. He likes bugs.
He invented daylight savings time. Fuck this guy.
This is his eternal punishment.
So, okay, now it's time for me to make fun of the layout again.
Okay.
Delphox is sitting at her desk in her office.
Right.
She gets up and walks directly forward to what one would assume is the door out of her office. She breathes into a DNA breathalyzer, and it opens the door into a grimy, dingy room where they keep a big, scary alien in a cell.
Which we find
this is
also,
like the way out of her office.
Which, by the way, we find the characters our merry band of bank robbers do end up in this room later, which I didn't realize was immediately adjacent to Miss Delphox's office.
She has to leave through this room.
Which, by the way, we find them, like, they crawl later. I know we're telling this out of order, but like Doctor Who time travel, it's fine. Later, they like climb through the bowels of this bank and like break through the floor, and they like climb through the vents, and they end up in Teller Room, which means that like Delphox's office, the Pokemon, not the lady in the episode, is like buried deep within the bowels of the bank, in the tunnels and the vents, and then her
very
office
helpful for the security.
Right,
office.
and then the doctor and friends were just like right next to it, and she was just in there, just sitting.
Also, the
in there.
fact that she has to use a DNA authenticator to leave
her office. Well, to be fair, we kind of find out maybe why that is later, kind of, maybe.
Disagree.
Okay.
So, yeah, there's some scarier looking guards, because the other guys were just wearing, like, body armor, but these guys are dressed like Master Chief.
They're very... And nobody in the world is scarier than Master Chief.
And it's important to know that these guys are wearing heavy armor and helmets that obscure their faces for a scene later where I'm going to make fun of something that is hinging on that. Anyway, she tells the Master's Chief that they're going to need the Teller, which is the creature that is inside this hazy glass case. And
This
she
annoyed
says,
me.
"Are you hungry?" And it
This-
goes, "Rah."
This annoyed me because they just gave the I don't know. It's a play on bank terminology, you see, but it
Because
doesn't.
it's like a bank teller, but it can tell what you're thinking.
Stupid. Thanks, Steven. I bet he felt very clever writing that one.
Ding. So the Doctor and company just like walk into the lobby. Again, we don't really see like how they escaped, but they're here now. And or no, sorry, they're not in the
No,
lobby.
they
They're
gotta
in a
talk
hallway.
about their powers, which we learned that Sai is a gamer.
No, he was lying. This is a very half-assed little bit of character drama, like all the character drama in this episode, is that the Doctor's like, "So, you're a cyborg, eh?" And he's like, "Yes, for gaming." And the Doctor says, "No, you have a prison tattoo on your neck." And he says, "That's true, I'm a hacker and bank robber." I was
What-
lying.
I do love to plug into my PC so I can get the VR pussy.
Great. Sabra, okay, I forgot to mention this. This is fucking hilarious. When they first wake up at the table and they're like going around the room saying like what their deals are, Sabra says that she's a mutant. And we're like, "Oh, okay." And now we're in the hallway and they're like talking about their unique abilities. And the Doctor literally just asks her like, "What's your power?"
Right. We're in X-Men rules.
Yes, she is a mutant in the X-Men way. And he says, "What is your mutant power?" And she says, "Here it is." And she touches Clara and becomes Clara. Because what we needed is more Claras. We've only had like 35 of them.
You
at
watched
this
the
point.
episode and you have a bigger brain than I do. Can you clarify, huh? Does her power prevent her from touching other people? I just want to understand.
She
can't-
automatic in like an X-Men rogue way. If she literally is Rogue Mystique.
Okay. Because I
That
was
is her
like,
thing.
she's got a cool power, and I don't understand why her biggest desire in the world is to cure herself of her cool power. But I guess
Because
if
the
it
thing
means-
is, she can't fuck anybody because nobody wants to
No.
look themselves in their
no,
own eyes and fuck
there
their own
is
self.
surely people narcissistic enough that
She
can
hasn't
make it
found
work.
them yet.
She needs to find
Wait,
a
yes, she
person-
has. It's the Doctor and
It's
Clara.
the Doctor and Clara, yeah.
Either one of you can fuck me.
So
Also, it's important to note that when she transforms into someone by touching them, she transforms on a cellular DNA level. Hey, that's convenient for all the DNA locks.
Which,
they will
by the
find
way-
one of them.
two things. Number one. We see Sai plugging into shit like 1,000 times this episode and
Mhm.
beeping and booping and typing on the computer like a cyborg is meant to do. I don't think Sabra's power like matters very much at all.
They use it one time in this next scene and then never again. I
Right.
guess actually it comes up one more time after that, but not
Second-
in a particularly interesting or good way.
Two more questions while I'm discussing the problems I have with this episode because I'm a nitpicker. I'm picking these nits. Oh, that's why it's called that. Oh,
Great job.
Okay.
Welcome to Earth.
Number two. If she transforms on a cellular level, DNA-wise, wouldn't that also get rid of her mutation that lets her do that? Number three.
No, because it's X-Men rules. So
Number
it works
three,
differently.
if
it
she
works in the way
touches-
that it needs to work for it to work.
if she touches the Doctor, does she turn into a Time Lord?
That
Does she turn into a Time Lord? Can she shut up? Can't she just become a Time Lord and then there'd be more Time Lords and then if you killed her she would regenerate into a different guy who doesn't have the mutation that she has and that would cure her?
Well, the good
of
news is that never
that
comes
would-
up. Problem solved.
infinite Time Lord glitch that lets you make more Time Lords? Like she lets you make one more Time Lord?
No, you become the person that she transforms into on a cellular level,
But not that way.
not like that.
But they don't give you the magic golden dust from Thomas the Tank Engine and the magic railway that lets you regenerate.
You become the person only to the extent that you can get through DNA authenticated locks once.
I'm just imagining her touching the Doctor, dying, and then a different guy pops up, and now there's just two Time Lords there.
Yay! Hey, can
Okay.
we cut you in half and they'll both regenerate and then we can make more Time Lords that way?
Infinite Time Lord glitch.
Except
Okay.
at this point, the Doctor knows that there actually is still plenty of Gallifreyans, so there's no need for that.
So, yeah, but they suck. So they walk outside, and Sabra is a white guy in a suit.
Yes, because this was also in the case from the architect, is a bottle of nut.
White guy DNA.
Also, okay, this is another thing that's worth explaining, because when she becomes Clara, her clothes match Clara's clothes, and she explains that she has, like, a hollow shifter or something like that. But
I love that the episode needed to explain that, because
the hollow shifter turning her clothes into Clara when she can see Clara is like, okay, fine. The fact that she touches this white guy's cells, and it's like, this man is genetically wearing a suit. Suit guy detected.
I know a suit guy when I see one. Okay.
Anyway, now they walk into the lobby. She is disguised as an old white guy in a suit. She also mentions that she can maintain her transformations indefinitely, which is completely irrelevant and extraneous information.
I can become a Time Lord forever. And then they're like, and then I love when Steven is like, Steven's got that disease where he feels the need to address all plot points in case anyone on Reddit or anyone on a podcast goes, actually, why aren't they using the TARDIS for this? So they say, why don't we use the TARDIS for this? And then he says, I don't know. And then they keep going.
Yeah, Clara's basically like, well, we don't have the TARDIS, so there must have been a reason that ourselves in the past decided not to do it that way. Also, that brings me to a point...
Wait a minute. So, we find out later why they can't use the TARDIS, and it has to do with the time that they are doing the bank heist, right?
Oh, yeah. What the fuck?
But why couldn't they have done it at a different time, and then just
that's
TARDIS
right.
their way into the vault?
They can't use the TARDIS because... at the moment that the lock opens, the TARDIS is not able to get in for a reason that we'll get into later.
Why couldn't they have showed up at any other time?
If they had taken the TARDIS literally any other time, they could have just traveled directly into it.
Well, we broke...
That's true, I didn't think about that.
Let's just stop recording. I think we've broken the episode sufficiently.
Alright, everyone, we are on Blue Sky. No. Yeah, here's another thing that I want to talk about while we're talking about their... like trying to piece together how they ended up in this situation, is that there is some, again, completely moot, unnecessary, pointless character drama that goes nowhere, where they all like know that they, before this moment, put themselves into this situation, so they're all pretty quickly on board with the idea of like, well, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I know that I wanted to do it, so I guess I'll do it.
Did we mention that they have recordings on a little iPod?
Yes, I did say that. I did say that.
Yeah, that says like I approve this message.
But there's some like really pointless stuff where like as they're going through the plan that they don't know what it is, they keep being like, who put you in charge, doctor? And he's like, nobody. And they're like, okay. And they always just back down. And it's like, why even have that in the episode? But here's what's not in the episode that I think would have been way more interesting. But if it was in the episode, I don't think the episode would play out. So it can't be in the episode, is at no point does anybody question the recordings that they hear. There's no like, how do we know that's really us? How do we know that we weren't under duress when we said that it was real? Like, Sabra is a shapeshifter whose voice changes, and they know that, and nobody questions, like, we are dealing with a person who can fake voices. How do we know that was really our voices? It just never comes up.
You know, the fact that one of the people is a shapeshifter who could turn into anyone would have been, like, such an interesting idea for, like, a double crossing later, that a character was secretly Sabra the whole time, and they were being deceived, and maybe, like, something, the doctor was not even there. There's so many cool things you could have done with the shapeshifter, and they didn't do any of them because they... Do you know what else is really funny? Wait, no, there's one other thing they do with Sabra, and it's to trick the viewer in a very silly way.
Stephen Moffat.
Steven, yeah. Anyway.
So they're in the lobby, and there's a security alert, and they're like, uh-oh, we're found, which, like, yeah, the bank did already know that they had broken in. Here's another thing, which is that a lot of what happens here... No, it's Dong for thing.
Dong.
Here's another thing, Dong, which is that a lot of what happens... for the next, like, 15 or so minutes of the episode hinge on the idea that Delphox knows that there are 4 people who broke into the bank, but doesn't know what they look like, which implies that the room that they were in, where they knew that there were 4 intruders, is like the one room in the bank that just like doesn't have cameras. Also, they didn't just appear in that room. They went into the room somehow. So there would be footage of the 4 of them on the cameras walking around the bank.
So many questions.
But what happens here, we're assuming, oh, this is where they're about to get caught and something's about to go wrong. But Delphox walks in with the Master's Chief and the big alien from the cage, who is called the Teller. And it's like, uh-oh. And then they walk up to some other guy, and she's like, you're trying to do a crime. So they don't know that the 4 of them are the criminals.
Mm-hmm. But they did
Convenient.
find one guy by himself, and they are like, you are the guilty one. Bring us the Teller. And then
right, I'm just like, why didn't they know that the 4 of them... Surely that should be the thing, is that Sabra has to use her power to transform, like, repeatedly, because she's the only one who can be safely seen.
Mm-hmm.
Because the rest of them, it should be like, oh, those are the intruders. But now we have to find the shapeshifter. But no, they just walk right in front of the guards.
Right.
And the guards are like, hello.
Right. And they just find this one guy. They're
Hello,
like,
one rich guy, and then one guy dressed as a robber.
we know that Clara's wearing her cool bank robber outfit with the like loose necktie.
Right, that's also a thing that is like kind of vaguely implied here, is like this is the most secure bank in the galaxy. So the people who come here, and we get a little like intro video that looks like some promo material from the bank's website or something that the architect shows them at the start, that indicates like this is where the richest of the richest of the rich put their incredibly expensive shit. So like everyone that we see in the video at the bank is like super super rich, wearing like gold robes and shit. And then Sai is here wearing his like cool guy hacker burglar outfit, and the guards are just like, that's fine, he's with a guy in a suit.
This is my pet gamer.
But what we establish eventually is that the reason that they are not detected here is because their minds were wiped. They don't know what they're doing here. So the alien that reads your thoughts can't detect any guilt because they don't know what their own plan is yet. Mm-hmm. Which is like, I guess that's fine, but they do know that they're robbing the bank.
Mm-hmm. So the teller walks up to this one random guy who is apparently guilty of bank robbery. And then we find out that the teller scans your brain for guilt, and then it also, in addition to doing that, just sucks your brain clean out. Mm-hmm. And then we watch the guy get his brain...
he's like trying not to think about the crime he's here to do, but he fails.
Is he actually here to do a crime?
I think so.
Was there just a secondary bank robbery going on at the whole time? Which, as we found from the promo video, getting onto the planet itself is apparently an off-screen challenge that must be overcome.
And
so there were 2 bank robberies going on at the same time. I thought there was a thing later that was like, our guilt was projected. No, was this guy not just here to rob the bank?
I guess I'm just taking Delphox's word for it, that this is how the alien works. But
I think the alien just kills you. I think it just sucks your brain out, no matter what.
I mean, he insists that he wasn't here to do the crime, which I guess he would insist whether he was or wasn't here to do a crime.
And then, as his brain is getting sucked, he like starts like crying or something, but actually the doctor's like, it's more fucked up than that. It's the brain soup coming out his eyes.
You're making him more Scottish.
I know, he's turning into fat bastard.
So yeah, his head, one of Steven's favorite things is like
fucked up
having
head.
Something weird happen to someone by an alien.
Fucked up head.
So his head gets like caved in and is flat, and his brain leaks out of his eyes.
Hey, what happened to the Mr. Moffat? What happened to that skull though? Where's that skull? Did it get turned into soup too?
Yes, and he collapses and is escorted away, and Delphox is like, please enjoy the bank, everybody. Now they get into a small room together, and I would think that part of the security would be that
is...
you can't just let a large group of people all go into the room to retrieve something together.
We learn later that the bank vault is accessible only by a small slot that you put the thing in that you want to deposit. You don't go to the bank vault, it's like buried deep within the earth. So you have to put the briefcase in, and then it just like slides down, and then it's like taken to your bank vault, I guess, by guys, because there's no futuristic cool technology in this bank. It's just like the most boring bank ever, but it's on a planet and it's big.
So are all the banks I've been to be fair.
I know, but this is the coolest space bank ever. But then it's just like drop it through a fucking slot.
But think about it this way: the coolest bank in the galaxy, still a bank.
Yeah, that's true. So
one of the least cool things there is.
How are you gonna get? We can't get into the bank area.
Are you ready to go ape for low interest loans?
Are you ready to watch a man die in the lobby of this bank?
Banking is actually a very interesting line of work. When you are in space, the galaxy is the limit.
We keep the killing monster in a room directly adjacent to the lobby. Or buried deep within the bank. It's really hard to tell.
It's kind of both.
It's both at the same time. So you're like, how are they going to get access to the vault if it's only accessible through this little slot? Are they going to shrink themselves down? No, they're going to put a bomb.
This is where Sabra breathes into the thing, because apparently the guy whose DNA was stolen by the architect, that the architect jerked off screen before any of this happened, he had a bomb?
He had a bomb to deposit in his bank. Somebody at some point put a bomb in the bank.
Did the architect deposit a bomb into this guy's deposit box?
That's what I've also been wondering, is that we later find out like that there were things planted in the bank. Who put them there?
Well, we get a very, very brief montage of the architect doing it himself, which we'll have to talk about that later. We can't get into that right now.
I know.
So, yes.
So I guess at some point the architect did all the steps of the heist thus far and then deposited a bomb into the bank, which you'd think that when you're depositing things into the bank, they would at least check to make sure it's not a bomb or any kind of tool that will help you rob the bank, but I guess
no,
not.
I was like kind of okay with that, because it sort of implies that this bank is like kind of shady. Like, you could put bombs in here, we don't care.
I guess.
Although I guess the bank would have to be like, now this isn't rigged to explode, is it?
So when they find out they have a bomb, they're like, we can't put this in here, we'll all die. And then the doctor's like, you have to, if you didn't think I was gonna kill you all with a big bomb, then you wouldn't have to trust me, and then I wouldn't be a doctor.
Nice.
And then
this is one of those points where they're like, who put you in charge? Why do we have to listen to? And he's like, you're not listening to me. You're listening to your past self. And they're like, oh, okay. And then they put the bomb on the floor.
Is this not another point where the security's at the door, like, hey, you better not be robbing the bank in there?
Yes, they start like banging on the door, and they're
Stop it!
Stop doing that. We can't just like open the door. We're not allowed.
We don't have access to open the door.
It's too secure for us.
And then they
not
all
at all
like,
secure when someone is hacking.
We're gonna detonate the bomb in this room, and so they all press into the corner, and then the bomb just like teleports the floor to another dimension, and then they hop through the floor, and then
it teleports it back,
wow.
So it's restored as the guards go in. Also, the case that they receive from the architect, in addition to the bomb, it also has bank schematics, which don't really contribute anything to the heist. It just tells them like, oh no, I guess it does, in the sense that the schematics show them if you break through the floor. But the architect literally could have just left a note that's like, break through the floor. Mm-hmm. But no, you're right. It is a very like, if I told you to trust me, then you wouldn't have to trust me. Yeah, because there's no reason that it couldn't just have a note that's like, okay, now put the bomb on the floor. It'll teleport a chunk of the floor away and nobody will be armed.
The less they know, the less guilty they are, so they can't.
But they learn it the second it happens. So the note could just say that it's going to happen, and then they do it and it happens. But there has to be completely artificial drama of like, will the bomb kill us? No. We then cut to Delphox, who gets a report that the four breaking
I can't live with Delphox. Delphox is too dumb, because now I do know for 100% that it's a Pokemon. So I'm just
Delphox gets a report. This is so funny, because actually, I forgot. They don't report the 4 people who broke in. No, she just gets a report that 4 people have retrieved a safety deposit box, and Delphox is like, no!
This is the worst bank in the world. I feel like it'd be harder to rob the Chase Bank down the street than it would be to rob this bank.
And we're about to find out on our first podcast field trip. Delphox then starts panicking because the director is so scary, and she's like, if they get away with it, we'll be fired with pain. Thank you, Steven, whichever one it was.
That really made me roll my eyes.
So yeah, they get into the floor. Also, the doctor convinces them to do the bomb by saying, like, remember, you agreed to do this, so probably your reward will be the thing that you want the most in the universe. And that'll come up.
Just a thing that he assumes and is correct about later.
So they're now in this, like, service tunnel, and the doctor says, or everyone asks the doctor, like, what do you think is going to be in the vault? And he says, I don't know, but I think a thing will happen, Dong.
Dong.
And Saber says, that's your plan? A thing, Dong. And then the doctor says, yes, a thing, Dong.
Was Steven's okay for this episode? Can I, if I'm handing...
They both like the word thing, so there's like twice as much as usual.
Maybe it was like a dare, like, I dare you to fucking put the word thing in this episode 20 times, and they're like, deal. But if I was passing, little Stevies in my remedial English class, and we have to have them write a sci-fi short story, I would hand it back to him, and I would underline the word thing every single time, and be like, use more descriptive language. I would like to know more about what's going on in the story.
There's an interview with Tim Robinson and Zach Kanan of I Think You Should Leave, where they talk about, like, their weird, like, fixations that you can see, like, oh, you can tell that we wrote these sketches around the same time because we talk about mud pies in both of them.
I know,
like,
it is
in
very
season
funny.
1, we were both really obsessed with people going, stinky!
Yeah, there is stuff on, and I Think You Should Leave, they just, like, various word concepts come up over and over again, and you can't really tell why, so I'm glad that it's just because they think it's funny over and over again.
Right, except Steven has been on the thing train for about 4 series now.
Saying, I'm doing a thing. He can't get over it. Okay, so
this is the part where Clara finds another briefcase from the architect. I do love the very economical use of props and sets where they go through the same 2 hallways like 50 times and find the same briefcase 50 times.
I know that they're making a TV show, but I feel the same way about, like, service tunnels on Doctor Who as I feel about every time on fucking Star Trek they end up in another goddamn cave. Which is, like, at least twice a season, they're like, we're going planet side, we're going to investigate the eternal crystal empire of Galabul. And then they go down and it's just like, we're in a cave now, we're trapped in a cave. And then it's just another cave episode. And you might as well skip it at that point. I can't tell you how many...
they could have at least lampshaded it with, like, a little quip about, like, did the architect get like a value pack of briefcases or something?
I can't tell you
like
how
that.
Many times, how many hours of my life I've spent fucking watching Picard and Deanna Troi walking around a cave. But then in this one, they're back in the fucking space museum again. It's just the space museum again. It's all hallways all the time.
Yes, although we'll talk about those hallways very soon because those hallways really, really fucked with me.
I know.
So, yes, Clara is like, how did the architect get these here? And the doctor says, someone must have done a break-in before sending us to do a break-in. And Clara says, why? And he says, I don't know, not our problem. And what we will learn at the end of the episode is, yes, the architect literally just broke into the bank. Like an actual break-in. There's no like, oh, he had like inside help. No, the architect actually broke in personally and just went throughout the hallways and vaults and just put briefcases and bombs for them to later pick up that solve all the problems for them that already weren't a problem for him.
Make it make sense, Steven. Make it make sense.
Sai starts glitching out for a second, which comes to absolutely nothing.
I know. I thought there was going to be a thing that's like he's dying or something. But then it's just
his circuitry is deteriorating or something.
No,
it happens a few times and he's like, well, what is our problem then? And it's just nothing. He's just glitching. It doesn't matter.
And then we find out in the briefcase are these little handheld tools that do something.
There are 6 of them, which is very important.
There's 6 of them, which is very important, and they don't know what they do, but they like to make assumptions.
The doctor says that he knows, but it turns out that he doesn't, but
he
part
was
of
wrong.
the plan is him believing a specific wrong thing, which I don't quite know what's up with that.
That's why these devices have a sticky note attached to them that says, I know I wasn't going to tell you what any of the other things that I gave you do, but these kill you when you use them. Love, the architect.
This is where they hang a very big lampshade on the entire premise of the episode, which is where they say, like, okay, the teller can read your mind and tell what you're planning, which must be why we were memory wiped and why these briefcases are telling us very little, because the less we know, the less the teller can see that we're doing anything nefarious. So there is a kind of interesting thing here, almost, where Sai is like, okay, so the best thing to do then would be to have only one person look at each briefcase so we keep the knowledge as minimal as possible from person to person. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting.
And then the doctor is just like...
and then Sai looks in the case and says, I don't know what this is. And then they just show it to everyone.
What is it? Also, this is where we find out more tragic lore about Sai, because he reveals to Clara that... Because he's... Oh, wait, hold on. There's a little more. They're talking about the doctor is like, you could delete your memories because you're a cyborg.
Right, he's like, you didn't even need a worm.
And then
you
Clara's
just delete
like,
your own memories.
A gamer who could delete his own memories. You could play the Outer
Wilds
as many times as you want. You could play Obra Dinn again for the first time. That's so cool. And then he says, it's not all it's cracked up to be. Deleting your memories kind of sucks. But then it reveals it wouldn't have sucked as much, but he deleted all his memories of his family and friends and stuff forever because he was interrogated in prison.
It's also funny that he specifically says that he was afraid that if he didn't delete his memories, like, something would, like, get back to his family and they would be in danger. So he, like, panic deleted everything. And he doesn't really say this, but he kind of implies that he actually didn't need to do it.
Yeah.
He doesn't say, like, but at least I knew that my family was safe. He's like, yeah, I panic deleted all my memories of everyone I love. I really wish I hadn't done that. And if he wishes that he hadn't done it, that does imply that there was no reason for him to do it. Sabra also can tell that the doctor is lying about not knowing what's in the case, but it turns out that he actually doesn't know what it is, but he thinks he does for some reason. Anyway, so the doctor and Sabra enter a yellow hallway, and this is the first of the colored hallways, aka one hallway with nothing in it, and they just put a different filter on it.
Mm-hmm.
We see this one hallway set, I think 7 times with different colored filters.
Yeah. Space
and it's
museum.
like, that's like kind of fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with using the same set as multiple hallways. It's just nuts that they were like, should we put different, like, props here and there so it looks like a different hallway? No, let's just have it be.
Have you been okay, listen, I don't want to be on Steven's side, but have you ever been inside a bank?
Yeah.
And you've never walked down the colored hallways? The 7 colored hallways of every bank?
Oh, I'm sorry, I haven't.
And then at the end, and then the mask of the Red Death comes through, and he walks through, and he, like, touches the clock, and then everyone dies. Sorry,
yeah,
just a little cheeky reference to Mask of the Red Death, a hot thing that everybody's been talking about, this new short story that just came out.
I actually did hear a lot of people talking about it not that long ago, weirdly enough.
That's very strange. Well, I'm glad you understood my little joke.
People were talking about it because of the COVID pandemic.
Oh, so they were talking about it, well, I mean, it happens, right? It's ongoing, but surely when people were talking about it, you mean like 4 years ago?
Famously, that's not how time works anymore.
That's true. They were talking about it yesterday, aka 4 years ago?
Yeah, anyway, so, yes, the doctor says, I was lying, I do know what these are. This is him talking to Sabra. They're off in the yellow hallway while Clara and Sai are hacking and watching hacking. Not in that order. And he says, yes, I was lying. These are my exit strategy. And she says, I could tell you were lying because I have worn a lot of faces, which means that I can tell when people are lying. And he says, okay.
And I also hate it.
He says, wow, your power is such a gift. And she says, no, because I can't touch anyone without becoming them. And she says a big Stephen line, and I quote, could you trust someone who looked back at you out of your own eyes? And that is a line.
It's that meme that says, trust no one, not even yourself, and it's the
that
guy
is a line
pointing the
that
gun at
doesn't
himself.
really make sense in the context that it is said, but it's also written for the Doctor to have a brain blast about it later, but it doesn't really make sense in that context either.
Is there no one you can trust more than yourself? Like, I understand that she's not literally, like, becoming the person, but, like, I feel like if I know what anyone is thinking at any given time, it's gotta be me, right?
It also doesn't make sense when you consider, like, identical twins.
Steve, you don't trust your fucking twin, that rat!
Yeah, whenever there's identical twins, they famously always are like,
I don't trust my twin.
Who are you? What are you trying to get away with? I'll kill you.
I never trust your twin. They're always fucking around. Okay, and then they
But this is the thing, is it's an incredibly specific scenario that she's referring to, which is literally transforming into someone or having someone transform into you.
I don't think that really affects your ability to detect lies, but what do I know? And then they find the guy who got his brain sucked out. He was just like in a cage in a holding cell. I guess
Clara and Sai join them at this point for whatever.
to use him to set an example. They keep these guys around, and also they're still alive. And it's one of those things.
I think they kind of imply that they like show video feeds of these people
to
on a
live stream.
Customers, but we don't actually like see that.
They're on a live stream.
But like where? Because I would think that it would be like in the lobby, but we were in the lobby and we didn't see them.
The dude with the caved-in head like scratches his face and it goes, "Scratch Pog! Oh my god, he did it!"
Also, I want to address something that's like happening in the background of this episode, which is that Clara and Sai have like a weird thing.
A dong.
But like, there's like chemistry between them, and she's like rubbing his back and stuff and being like, "Aw, there." What it really reminded me of was when Martha had a weird thing with a guy on the like on fire space station or whatever in the scooping episode.
I don't remember that episode. I repressed it.
But yeah, so she is like about to go on her first date with Danny, and she spends this whole episode like flirting with Sai, which is a little bit weird.
I didn't get that vibe. Like remember when the 13 kept saying, "I'm picking up a vibe." Remember that? Sure. I don't remember what episode that is. It just happened. It just came out that way.
That did happen.
I didn't get that vibe, but anyway, they so they find the room with the Twitch live streams of all the people who got their brains sucked out, and then they crawl into a vent and they find Visler Tarlo's skeleton in there, clutching a boo-boo pipe.
I like that, and I think that's great. I do want to talk about the way that this happens, because I think the way that they reused this hallway with different filters to make it seem like it was a different hallway over and over implies a clear sense of restriction about what they can and can't do with this hallway set. And there is no better example of that than the way that they go through the vent, which is that they kneel down in this bright yellow hallway next to a vent, and the Doctor pulls out his sonic screwdriver, and then there is like an incredibly uncharacteristic for Doctor Who, like, swoosh transition into them crawling out of the vent in another room. And we don't see him take the vent off. And also, when they arrive in the other room that's directly through this grate, you can see the room that they came from, and it's not yellow.
No, but you know what I do like is that they crawl out of the vent and they find the teller's big glass case, which means means that
they like went through a hole in the vault and then just like walked very briefly through this like access tunnel. Then they went through a vent from a yellow hallway into the room where they keep the alien that's directly outside of the director of security.
I am not like above being okay with people crawling through vents in movies and TV and games and stuff, because that's just like it's just a sensible way for people in a show to like get from one place to another secretly. Mm-hmm. These fucking vents, dude, are like...
You could live in these fucking things.
Yeah,
they're huge.
They're huge. Imagine being in this bank, this most secure bank, and just every room has like a 2 foot tall with like big ass bars. Like, that's a vent? Motherfucker,
also,
that's a tunnel.
They're like, oh, wouldn't it be a problem if the vents were like on the ceiling? Nope.
Like, remember, was it the Impossible Planet, I think it was? They spent a lot of time in vents, and those are good vents. They're, like, really crawling around in those bad boys.
Yeah, and there was like, difficulties involved in those vents, where it was like, we have to manage, like, the oxygen in the vent, because these are designed for robot things to crawl around in. I was half
expecting, and I know that, like, kind of this is the twist of this episode, I thought this was gonna be a thing, of, like, this bank was like legitimately I had a theory that this bank was like meant to be robbed and they were gonna like
that's why the whole episode I was like the twist is gonna be that the architect is director Karabraxos
and the bank
because it feels like everything is just way too fucking easy.
Right. It was like you were the first person to ever actually try it and learn just how robbable this bank is. And yeah, so they're in the room, which is next to the office that the Delphox, the Pokemon, is locked inside. And then they look at the teller, and the teller goes, ah! And then,
it's in forced hibernation when it's in this box.
Which, by the way, it's apparently not in forced hibernation, because they all have to not think really good, because,
it's in very gently suggested hibernation.
It's wide awake, because, they need to not think, or the sleeping in forced hibernation teller will wake up, and then it wakes up, and then,
Right, they say it's in forced hibernation. It's snoozing. It's dozing.
I don't think it is. I think it's just awake. I think it's just okay. It's just right there. And then Clara thinks about how she's so...
But the doctor also says its power is suppressed, which implies that, like, in order to protect the staff from this dangerous creature, they keep it in a box where it can't use its brain-sucking power.
Yeah.
But it's also not, because the moment that it detects that Clara's mind is there... It's just like, I'm going to eat that.
I want to briefly describe the teller for our listener, because I don't always think we do that, and maybe people aren't having a good picture in their mind's eye. So imagine Admiral Akbar.
Imagine Teller.
Imagine Teller from Penn and Teller. No, imagine Admiral Akbar, and he's wearing an orange jumpsuit, and he's got his arms chained up like Anima from Final Fantasy X.
But also, he has, like, hammerhead shark eyes, but they, like, curl towards each other.
Yeah, he's kind of a hammerhead shark Admiral Akbar kind of guy. Oh, Admiral Akbar has a head like a ramp. That's right. That's not what he looks like. Yeah, he's a hammerhead shark.
No, head like a ramp guy is the guy in the cage. The guy who got caught.
You could do a fucking McTwist off that thing. But, no, he looks like a hammerhead shark wearing...
That's part of the security, is that in order to make an example of you, they put you in a cage and then have a tiny skateboarder doing tricks on your cage.
That's what the live stream is for. So he's a hammerhead shark, and he's in an orange jumpsuit.
You could pay with, like, stream tokens to have a little thing play where an animation of a skateboarder
little augmented reality sort of technology can play. Okay, so yeah, that's what he looks like, and then does he start sucking Sabra through the glass?
He sucks her hard through his glass.
And then the doctor's like, I can't help you, I'm really sorry.
Wait, hold on, why does this happen? Because
Clara thinks about how guilty she is. Because it starts sucking
Clara, and the doctor's like, keep your mind blank, Clara, and she's like, I can't. And then they just, like, crawl back into the vent, but then Sabra is now like, I can't.
I love when the doctor just says, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do. You'll have to use this device. It's an atomic shredder. It kills you instantly and you die.
Yes, the 6 little canister things they were given are atomic shredders that just annihilate you instantly. It's painless, and it's better than this. And Sabra says, promise me one thing, that when you meet the architect, you'll kill him. And he says, I can't promise that. And she says... You're a good man, Doctor.
And
it's too bad that it took me to the end of my life to meet one of you, which is a bonkers thing to say.
She wants to turn into the Doctor and then kill herself, and then she'll turn into a different guy who doesn't have the mutation, and then she can look at a person with another eyes. Also,
so she clicks the shredder and she's gone.
A good man goes to war.
A good man goes to the bank.
I do like that, that we do know that the Doctor has apparently killed many people, because he always is like, I've killed so many, with my words and my no weapons and my spoon. And then she's like, promise me you'll kill this guy, and he says no, and she says thank you, and then she kills herself. And also, I also really enjoy that the Doctor looks at this device, says it instantly kills you, and then it turns out later that he's not right.
Yeah, I don't know why he thought that, because, yeah, these things don't kill you. He thinks that they do, which implies that there's either he's just flat out wrong. He's like, oh, I thought that's what those were. Or there was a note that nobody else saw that says that was what they are. I don't know.
When you find the architect, promise me you'll seal him inside of every mirror.
That's not my way.
That was a different guy.
They crawl out of the vent that they crawled in from a yellow hallway, and they crawl out of it into a green hallway.
Uh-huh.
Which is fine. Great. Mm-hmm. Whatever.
Mm-hmm. There's a running thread through this episode we haven't talked about yet about Sai says that he's the doctor because of professional detachment. I think that maybe just comes up now and then it comes up later and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, again, just pointless attempts at drama that go absolutely nowhere and don't contribute anything to the episode.
Steven's favorite specialty.
The doctor's like, well, we're alive, so we have to keep going. And Sai's like, why aren't you sad? And the doctor's like, whatever. And it's like, okay. And then Clara is like, I'm sorry about him. And Sai says, you really must have been traveling with him for a while because you're pretty good at making excuses for him. So that's some hybrid stuff, I guess. The doctor finds another case because there's only one prop in this episode. And we then briefly cut to Delphox saying, release the teller into the tunnels. Because I guess they know that they're in the tunnels for some reason. I guess there's cameras.
There's cameras in this bag.
And then... This is a very confusing part that I went through some real like cycles of what I thought happened here. And I had to watch this a few times. Like later in the episode, I came back to this to see it again. Because they open the case and Sai plugs himself into it. And Clara reaches down and grabs something that is out of focus. And then she looks at a business card that says Tech 251 Org 339 PV. And I thought at first like, oh, okay, so she like swiped this for some reason to like keep it secret. And then later I thought, oh, was there like a stack of them? Because she says it seems like one of them is for each of them. But then it is just it's just really confusing editing, I guess is what I'm getting at. I really didn't follow what happened here. Mm-hmm. Were you confused by this?
I've been confused by everything we've watched since we started the podcast.
Okay. So Sai sits down at a computer terminal and says that the case has informed him that this terminal is how they will open the vault. Can I say one more thing?
Can I say one more thing? And I've been trying so hard not to say it the whole episode, but I've had enough. I've had enough of it. They call the character Sai in a post-Gangnam Style world. They can't take it seriously. He's the Gangnam. He's got the Gangnam Style. He's Sai from Gangnam Style. They can't call him that. They can't do that. They can't be like Sai, there's like famous guy with that
Gangnam
name.
Style fame, but also he's augmented to be a cyborg.
You can't just be like, we're robbing a bank with Sabra, the Doctor, and Jason Derulo. It doesn't work. It's a famous guy.
We're robbing the bank with Sai from Gangnam Style and then a tub of Sabra hummus.
Hold on. I need to investigate 2012 Time Heist. Hold
Gangnam
on.
Style.
Time Heist. 2014! This was 2 years post Gangnam Style! There's no excuse. Maybe it didn't hit the UK like it hit the US. Maybe
it didn't occur to me for even a second, but also for me, Gangnam Style was quite a while ago. So, I don't know.
I'm always thinking about Gangnam Style.
Oh my god, we didn't mention. They don't usually do this, but instead of the Doctor Who theme, they just played Gangnam Style over the intro.
I like two other songs by...
Oppa Doctor Style.
Shut up. There is a non-zero chance, unless Gangnam Style didn't hit the UK like it hit the US, which could be, but there's a non-zero chance that like I could imagine like Jodie or even the guy whose name I can't remember, Peter Capaldi being like, it's Gangnam Style, isn't it? Like I can imagine it being like, it's like that dance. It's like that dance. I can't tell which doctor's voice I'm doing. I'm morphing from one doctor to another. I love
do the drunken giraffe. Do the Gangnam Style.
Oh god. I feel like my 12th Doctor voice is like slowly morphing into Scrooge McDuck as we progress through these episodes.
Wow, I don't remember the 12th Doctor being quite so jovial.
I'm diving into a pile of me gold coins.
Laddie. Anyway, Sai sits down at a computer terminal and says this is the terminal that will open all 24 atomic unbreakable locks to the vault. And the teller starts roaring somewhere else in the tunnels, and Sai says, give me a shredder so I can kill myself if I have to. And Clara's like, no! And he says, yes. So the doctor gives him a shredder. They run down a blue hallway from their green hallway, and the doctor says, we have to split up. And then Clara runs down a red hallway, and the teller is standing there. Whoops. The doctor, meanwhile, is he's off screen, so he doesn't do anything for any of this, even though presumably he can see the teller from where he's standing, because they literally just went in opposite directions down one hallway.
Remember?
Not relevant.
Hey, so Teller from Penn and Teller starts sucking Clara's brain. And then, remember when it started sucking Sabra's brain, and the doctor said, once it starts, there's absolutely nothing I can do about it. It's like locked in.
Yeah, it turns out that you can stop it by just yelling at it.
The doctor just didn't want to, he didn't want to get sucked.
Yeah,
which is incredible because I love when I'm angry at the episode, when I'm angry at Steve, and I don't give a fuck about episode sequence. I don't mind like quote unquote spoiling things from later. We do learn that the doctor's brain is so huge and full of memories that he is basically immune to being sucked by the teller later. So when he said Sabra, there's nothing I could do, he was lying. He wasn't right.
Yeah, but I will say to be completely fair, he does say when they first encounter the teller in the lobby, he says that he's never seen one of these, and he doesn't actually know how it works. So he's kind of putting it together. He's just like,
sorry, Sabra, I'm letting you die here so I can learn more information. Kill yourself. He does. Classic. I mean, we did know that Ninth Doctor does say kill yourself at some point.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but so Sai, because he's in love with Clara, apparently, is like, yeah, I'll die for her. So he starts watching all the true crime shows that he could find.
Biggest sickos
He just uses his augments to pull up a list. By the way, the funniest vision of a cyborg is a cyborg who has computers in his brain, and he uses the computers to project things onto a wall so that he can learn about them.
I'm not a true crime person, and I doubt you are, but you could be. But, like, when you're watching or listening to, like, most sicko murderers by the two true crime people, when you listen to that, do you experience the feelings of guilt that they experience? Do you take on their emotions?
I think that everyone who watches those should experience
guilt. Definitely. But maybe that's what it is. He's like, oh, I really shouldn't be. This is no good. This is not respectful. This is not a good way to spend my time.
I will say I've certainly done I feel like we've all done the thing where we go down a Wikipedia hole as Sai is in this scene.
For sure. But
and we go, oh god, the depths of depravity that humanity has.
But does that wrought. I get is he thinking on
but at no point have I ever been like,
man, I really
wow,
shouldn't
it's
have
like I'm
done
there.
It's like I'm him.
But yeah, he starts. I was actually disappointed that there was an Easter egg that I thought would be here that wasn't, because he's going through like a slideshow of all the world's biggest criminals. Something. I thought there was going to be a little mugshot of River, and there's not. I thought that was disappointing.
That would have been a really cool detail that they didn't do. Shame.
There was a brief flash of a Slitheen, so that was something.
Krasko, the time traveling racist. Well, he hadn't been on the show yet, but it's foreshadowing. Yet. Huge foreshadowing.
But yeah, so he's looking at pictures of criminals and like reading about their crimes.
I did all of
like,
this.
I'm guilty. Come and get it. And the teller's like, okay.
And then this part really fucked me up.
Yummy,
you see like all of the like 24 vault doors unlocking one by one, and then I don't know why this pissed me off so much, but when the teller starts sucking Sai, he activates the atomic shredder by pulling the pin out with his teeth like a grenade, like he's being so cool.
I didn't catch that. That's so cool.
It pissed me off it was so dumb looking, because it wasn't like a grenade or anything. He just holds it, so he's like, ugh! And then he just like vaporizes. It was really dumb looking. But
he also has like a little emotional outro line where he's like, Clara, my life is flashing before my eyes, and you should see the people you care about. You should but go I don't see anyone. This is very funny because first of all, it just like sucks as a line, because it's like, yeah, I know you don't. You erased your memories.
Live every moment, love every day.
But it also felt like it was setting up for him to be like, and I see you, Clara. But he's just like,
bye.
Bye. Like, oh, okay. Why even have a line then?
Okay, so he dies, and then he's one vault door short of opening
Hold
all
on,
the vaults.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, where's the teller go?
He leaves.
It just leaves.
I was thinking the same
It's like,
thing.
oh boy, big
What was
meal,
that?
all guilt in galaxy, gotta lie down.
I just ate like 25 bank robbers in one guy. My God.
Never had 50 serial killers before.
Going into a food coma, am I right?
This also implies that if anyone comes to the bank who is a fan of true crime, the teller would just be like, you.
Maybe that's what happened to that one guy who got earlier. He was listening to true crime podcasts on the way in, and then he got eaten.
Oh my God.
So then we find out that
the teller just vanishes in the same way that the doctor was just not present for any of the stuff that just happened. As soon as it finishes happening, the teller's just gone.
So then we find out that the locks failed, and there's one door that didn't get opened, and it's locked by an unbreakable atomic seal. Nobody could possibly crack the lock. What are they gonna do? How are they gonna get through this door? I do want to say also that when the doctor walks over immediately after Sai dies, he says literally nothing about it. No, he doesn't care.
He despawned for the last couple minutes of the episode.
This was a thing that I think there might have been a deleted line of dialogue or something they forgot to write in, because all of a sudden rumbling, and then we see Del Fox in her office, and one of the masked what did you call them? The Master's Chief. She comes up. Miss Del Fox, the solar storm is getting worse, which I feel like there should have been a line earlier in the episode that was like
establishing that there was a
solar storm that was there at all, as opposed to getting worse.
Right, like when they're in the lobby, like someone should be like, it's really coming down out there with the whole sun
solar
thing,
storm,
and Del Fox would be
yeah.
like, don't worry, this place is impenetrable by crime and solar storms.
And then this is when the episode comes apart at the seams, like someone put it through the atomic shredder, the atomic
I do want to make sure that we've gotten on the record that the way that the lock fails to open is that it unlocks locks 1 through 23, and then it gets to the final lock, and a computer voice says,
unhackable.
Final lock not opened.
Cannot be done.
No. Goodbye.
Sorry.
Didn't do.
So the doctor realizes that whoever planned this heist planned it in the future, because whoever planned it knew that the solar storm was going to happen at this precise moment. And
the exact moment that they are standing in front of the vault, implying that literally everything that has happened went exactly the way that it was supposed to, down to the second.
This is some Weeping Angels type shit, except that like in the Weeping Angels episode, like there's somebody like writing shit down. This would need to be like they needed to have clocks on or something for me to buy this. And then he's like...
Right, when the architect was planning this, he's like, okay, so then they'll go through the yellow hallway grate into the teller room, and then they're going to stand there dealing with the teller for 45 seconds, exactly. Saber will use her shredder, and they will go into the green hallway.
Then they're going to talk about... Then Sai is going to have a conversation with Clara about how he wiped his memories... and that'll further develop their character. So
it will take 6 seconds for Sai to decide that he's ready to die for Clara.
This is what the doctor's like. That's why I couldn't get the TARDIS in, because I needed to get the TARDIS through the vault door. Oh, because the solar storm happened. You wonder how that's going to happen. The solar storm happens, and the vault just slides open.
Yes, that's the one thing that they never accounted for, is that if there's a storm, the lock opens.
Maybe it's only because all 23 other locks were already unlocked, but I don't care. The doctor walks in and says, wow, I could have gotten the TARDIS in here if it not weren't for this pesky solar storm.
Yes, they had to come here because the storm would enable them to get into the vault, but the storm stopped them from using the TARDIS, so they couldn't use the TARDIS.
I'll just take
the
script and rip it in half, right?
If they had used the TARDIS any other time, it still would have worked.
I thought there was going to be a thing that's like, sometimes they do this, I feel like, on Doctor Who. This room is like sealed by a temporal distortion field, and that means you can't put a TARDIS inside of it. But it was just like they could have put the TARDIS in the vault whenever they wanted.
I also don't buy the premise that like, oh, if their electrical systems are malfunctioning, then the vault just pops open. Also, when the final lock opens because the storm messes with it, the fucking computer voice goes, vault unlocked.
It just opens the door.
Oh, it's great.
This is, once again, furthering my theory that this bank was supposed to be robbed on purpose, except that's not
They spent the entire episode explaining how unbreakable this lock is, and then it is opened by the power flickering for a second.
I can't believe that the central theme of this episode is that they needed to break into an unimpenetrable bank that apparently they could have just put the TARDIS inside the vault at any other time. Oh my god, Steven! Why didn't they just put a thing in there that was just like, the bank is surrounded by a temporal distortion field that prevents any time machines from like, Steven loves to plug up the holes, but he's so bad at writing that he always opens up 1,000 more holes than he plugs in.
Also, it's not, this is a very, like, ridiculous nitpick, but I will say they were making such a big deal about how it had to be planned by a time traveler because, it was designed for them to be here at this exact moment, because any earlier it wouldn't have worked, any later it wouldn't have worked. It had to be right when the storm takes out the lock. That's not true, because when the lock opens, the vault door just swings open on its own.
Also, it feels to me like this thing with the solar storm is crazy, because we learned I thought when the solar storm was happening that this was like, the bank is built next to a volatile red dwarf that has frequent solar storms, and it's like a thing. No, the solar storm we learn later is going to destroy the whole ass bank. This isn't like a, because when they're like, Director, the solar storm is getting worse. It just feels like the imminent destruction of the bank threat that has emerged about 15 minutes before the end of the episode. I thought it was like a routine thing that it's like, oh, the solar storm's hitting hard today. No, this is the solar storm that destroys the whole ass bank. I just can't get over it. It's crazy. Anyway, they're in the vault now that they could have flown the TARDIS into.
Do you think that if the storm hadn't happened, would it have been like, the storm only opens the 24th lock. We did still need Psy to hack the other 23.
It doesn't matter, because the storm's gonna destroy the whole bank. It's gonna open all the locks when the bank gets burned up that they could have flown the TARDIS into at any other time. And then they're looking at the business cards, I was also incredibly unimpressed by the biggest bank, the biggest, most secure bank in the galaxy, and this was what they came up with for the vault room, is just like gold security deposit boxes or whatever. I did not like that at all, but they're looking at the cards to see
I'll be far more disappointed in a little bit.
Also, all of the vaults that they're accessing are 3-digit numbers, which to me implies that there just aren't that many vaults in this galactic superbank.
It is the most secure. It's not the biggest bank. It's like the elite of the elite.
Did you see how fucking big this bank was? They show the exterior shot. It's like it's like huge.
Yeah, that's true.
There's like 400 boxes in here. So we
find out what the business card was for, because it says Tech 251, and the doctor says, okay, so that's box 251 in the technology section. And inside is this is a problem that I have, which is that it doesn't feel like these deposit boxes belong to any particular person. It feels like the bank just has a bunch of stuff in boxes.
Right. So the doctor...
Box 251 has a neophyte circuit,
which the doctor
rare
says...
piece of technology that can reboot any system and replace any lost data. And Clara says, this must have been what Psy's reward was. But again, I'm like, okay, but is this like a particular person's box that they're stealing from? Or
no,
is this like,
did
the architect put this here as a reward for Psy?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Also, I do think, is this foreshadowing when the doctor says, these are rare, I've only seen one of them one time? Is that foreshadowing, or is that just to show how rare it is? And then the other box, which was, what was it called? It was
Org 339, which is funny because they don't tell us what org means, and I was like, oh, I wanted to know what org means.
You mean organism?
Organic materials, maybe?
Yeah, it's a cure for any mutation, I guess.
A gene suppressant. This was the part where I had to go back because I was so confused, because they're like, okay, I looked at the business card and it took us to Psy's reward, and then they were like, oh, what's next? Let's look for Sabra's reward. So I thought there was a second card, and I got really confused.
And then the last one, that's whatever they're looking for, is PV, which stands for, apparently they've decided, private vault, which is the director's vault. And then he walks around a corner and Teller's there, and then you think, because, rule of television, when you see the teller, and every time the teller shows up and it sucks your brain out and kills you, and it's happened 3 times in this episode, but this time
and
it's
now the teller has found them in the actual vault.
Come with me. You seem very guilty, but come with me to the director's office.
I'm still full.
I just ate like 20 bank robbers. I can't fucking do this on demand.
Where did the teller go, though? Because he was standing in the hallway that the vault door was in.
So they take them back to Delphox's office, which is so fucking crazy. And then, this is just, man, Steven really fucked up this episode.
Oh yeah, this is the part where Delphox is like, it's good that people try to break in, because then we can suck their brains out and keep them in cages to show people what happens.
Alright, we're gonna kill you so good right now. I bet that you really are so guilty of all the things.
Here's another problem that I have. She has spent the entire episode flanked by her 2 Masters Chief with their cool helmets. In this scene, there are 2 Masters Chief, but one of them isn't wearing a helmet. And that has to happen for something to happen in a second that is very stupid. So, just saying that right now.
So then, the doctor
has like a brief moment feeling sorry for the teller, where she's like, it's the last of its kind, but everything has a price, and that's why it serves us. And the doctor says, wow, it must be painful to live in that thing's head, having to listen to everyone's secrets all the time.
We don't know that, but okay. And then
he says, why aren't you scared what the director will do when they find out how far we got? And she says, terrified. But I have to work at this job because my face fits.
I don't know what that means. Don't know. And then she says, okay, I'm gonna not suck your brain out. I'm gonna put the teller back in his brain box. He's still so full. And then I'm gonna leave. And then we're just gonna let you sit in here for a while.
I cannot believe this, that she has been sucking people's brains out throughout the episode. She catches them in the vault and she's like, all right, well, it's time for me to leave the room to personally escort the teller back to its cage. I will leave my 2 guards, one of whom for some reason has taken off his helmet.
Do you know what else is crazy while we're talking about this?
To deal with you.
They mention over and over again, besides the teller, there's like, when you get caught in the bank, you get incinerated. And they keep referencing it. Like, we haven't been talking about it because the teller's been on screen all episode, but they're like, we're gonna incinerate you. That's what she says. She's like, we'll make sure to incinerate you nice and slow when we do that. They have a guy that kills you right there in the bank that kills you dead when it thinks you did a bank crime. So why is it... Whatever. I can't. And then she leaves with the thing that kills you to go wait for them to be killed in the other way.
Yeah, again, this is just one of those things that Stephen Moffat does all the time, which is, why does that happen? Because if it didn't happen, then the episode couldn't happen.
She's like, alright, I'll have the guards take you to the incinerator, and then she escorts the killing alien out of the room that kills
Even though she literally just said that the bank directly benefits from having live-streamed footage of the people who the teller sucks their brains out.
She says
with that and then goes, but I think we're good for now. I'm not going to bother with you two.
She goes and takes the teller to go night-night mode and then leave the guards to incinerate them. And then one of the guards...
I think the only explanation is that it actually is full.
There's
it's
a guard...
I sucked 2 people today. I don't usually suck 2 people in a day.
The guard that's wearing a helmet and the guard that's not wearing a helmet, and the guard that's not wearing a helmet turns into Sabra, and then the guard that's wearing a helmet takes off his helmet, and it's Psy from Gangnam Style.
Yes, this is the reason that the guard couldn't be wearing a helmet, because the guard will turn into Sabra, and his face needed to... Because it wouldn't make sense if he just transformed in the armor and then took off the helmet and was like, I was Sabra pretending to be a guard.
It turns out that the doctor was wrong, and those things were actually emergency teleporters that take you to a ship that's in orbit that has the TARDIS on it, and also...
No, but wait, how did they get here, though?
They did the whole heist again.
They broke in a second time and disguised themselves. Also, Delphox has literally never been away from her 2 guards, so I don't know when they, knocked out 2 guys in heavy armor and stole their fucking suits from them.
They did all the steps again, and then they disguised 2 suits and disguised themselves.
Hey, I guess the architect already did the heist once. Why not have them do it a 3rd time?
And then the doctor gives them their special gifts, and then I did like when he gives Psy his little crystal and he says, it's the memory fixer, because he didn't want to tell him it was a neophyte circuit and then explain what it was again on the camera to the guy. And then he says, okay, job's done. Clever old architect.
Ding.
And then he says it again!
Very clever. Ding.
Okay, so then they just walk back to the vault having done the whole heist again, I guess, or they just left all the doors open.
Yeah, I don't know where, because we've seen that the only exit from this office is into the room with the teller that Delphox is currently in. So I don't know how they left, because we just cut to them in a different hallway.
They walk past the teller, and they walk past Delphox.
Excuse me?
They go back.
Sabra and Sai in the armor with the helmets on carry Clara and the Doctor, and the Doctor and Clara are both pretending to be dead.
We killed them. We incinerated them.
Did you kill them? Yep, killed them.
On their way to the vault, they noticed that there's water and life support going to the vault.
Because apparently the director lives inside of their own private vault.
And then they walk into the vault, which isn't locked.
No, that's not true. They crawl in through the biggest air vent I've ever seen.
It's a full-size...
I've literally never seen an air vent grate this large. You could drive a car through this air vent.
It's one of those famous standing air vents that older
The vents
Americans
are getting
need.
bigger.
Each
vent more roomy than the last. Okay, I need to talk shit about this vault.
Oh, this vault
fucking sucks.
I was so excited to see what the vault looks like, and I was so disappointed.
This is the director of the most secure bank for the richest fucks in the galaxy, and it's like, what riches will they... The riches that they love so much that they live in their own vault. It is a scattering... It's like not very full. There's not much in it of entirely Earth-centric artifact props.
I think that like King Tut's sarcophagus in there.
Yes,
it's got
there's like an Egyptian statue, a Roman bust. You couldn't even have like a fucking Roman bust style statue of like a tentacle face guy.
Glorbgo the Conqueror.
That would be fun at least. And then you can Then you could just fill it out with, like, prop gold and gems.
The fact that it's, like, one of those Columbo killer's bedrooms is really what pissed me off. Shouldn't it be, like, isn't this, like, the rich freaks of the future? Shouldn't this be, like, futuristic, like, everything's, like, white, and there's just, like, crazy things sealed in plexiglass stasis chambers?
We blew the budget on the software to change the color in that one hallway.
we blew the budget on not one, not two, but 7 different LED colors.
What we don't know is that they weren't just, like, using, like, software to, like, change the tint of the hallway to red. They had, like, a big plate of ruby that they put in front of the camera lens.
Alright, so I'm rapidly running out of time before I have to go to work, so we gotta hustle.
Okay, the last thing I'll make fun of in the vault is that there's a painting propped up against the wall, and they put a cloth over it so you can't see what it's supposed to be. Moving
That's so good.
They go through a huge air vent, and director Carrie Bradshaw is here, and it turns around the chair, and it's actually Delphox's clone.
Well, we find out later that Delphox is a clone of director Carrie Bradshaw.
We find out that every department in the bank is headed by a different clone of the director, and she says, this is so stupid, she says, it's the best way to know that my staff are, like, the best, which completely counters the thing.
How can you trust someone who looks at you with their own eyes, though?
Yeah, but also she's like, the best of the best is me. Also, I'm constantly murdering my own clones for failing.
I really like the fact that, you know what this, it's because it's a show of words that Steven writes these things. And then
they are all, like, incredulous at her callousness. They're like, right. You murder your own clones? Which is not even really that shocking or interesting. The doctor then says, shut up, shut-itty up, he says.
That sucked, I hated that. And then
he remembers what Sabra said about trusting someone looking at you out of your own eyes, and he has a realization. I hate the architect. He's overbearing, manipulative, and thinks he's so clever. Ding.
This drove me fucking crazy, because this implies that the architect was present throughout the whole episode, as opposed to one to 2 minute clip at the start of the episode that he says, this guy's so overbearing. And, like, no, how do you... He's a guy on a TV. He said one thing to you.
I will say, it's like, on the one hand, it's like, yes, I agree that the architect's manipulation is very in character for the Doctor, but I just kept coming back to the idea that, oh, the heist is the director having them heist her out of her vault for some reason that we'll find out at the end, because it was like, it really feels like this is all way too easy.
We find out now the solar storm is getting so bad that it's going to destroy the whole bank, and then the Doctor's like, well, I guess you gotta go before your whole bank explodes.
He writes down a note for Carabraxos, which has his phone number for the TARDIS, and it says, I'm a time traveler. And she's like, what? And he says, I think someday you're going to be old and dying, and you're going to regret something, and you'll want to call me about it.
I love that what the thing that she's regretted and like the reason, the impetus for this whole episode is not immediately revealed, and like he tells her this having barely just met her and like only knowing
the one thing that he knows about her is that she's one of the most callous people he's ever met. But
yeah,
he's
like she's
I know
evil
you.
and sucks,
You're gonna
and
feel
like,
really bad about how you treated the teller.
You're gonna feel really bad about one thing that we don't know what it is, and then she starts like putting a Fabergé egg into a bag. This is the most expensive thing in her collection, obviously.
Yes, she's like, I have to take the greatest treasures of the universe that I can steal right before it's all destroyed. And it's one Fabergé egg and then some like gold chains.
And then,
cool props.
then she leaves, and then they're like,
the doctor remembers that they had 6 teleporters, and because they were teleporters, the 2 that Sai and Sabra have are still in their possession. So what are these other 2 for?
There's only one way that the doctor can get his memory back. And then the teller says, "Whoa, that was a good meal. Hey guys, are we like dying right now?"
Oh yeah, she also called the teller to come.
Yeah,
to the
and
vault.
then the doctor's like, "All right, suck me dry, buddy." And then he starts getting sucked, and then this part's so funny, little tip of the hat when he says, just suck me, bad boy, suck me hard, suck my lives. I've had so many lives." And then he says, "Big scarf, bow tie." A little bit embarrassing. Little embarrassing!
Jesus Christ.
He's like, suck me so good. I've been a bad boy. I've been many bad boys.
Yeah, he says, what do you think of the new look? I was trying for minimalism, but I think it turned out a little bit magician, which I don't think
he keeps saying this. This is the one thing I hate about this doctor is that his aesthetic is so, like, nebulous and he doesn't have, like, a funny... Remember when... I like that he's embarrassed, by the way, about being the...
You know what would have been much funnier is I was trying for minimalism, but it turned out aging punk musician.
True.
That would be a fun joke.
That would have been a good
because
one.
That's what Peter Capaldi is.
Because he doesn't have a thing, dong. I also just love the fact that Doctor Who can only reference the 4th Doctor. He can't be like question mark guy, cricket player.
Very funny with a bowler hat and an umbrella.
There's so many other guys he's been. He's like an old man who does karate, but he's only like big scarf. It's so lazy. Fuck you, Steven. Pay your respects. And then
this pissed me off because he was very explicit that the memory worms eat your memories. And that's like the reason that they exist is to eat memories. But now the teller is trying to retrieve the memories that were supposedly eaten. And he says, push through the memory block.
Memory come back, and then they remember us being at the phone.
The memory worms don't eat your memories. They like, for nutrition, they block your memories. Great.
The director is calling the doctor. This is back
on her deathbed. This is at the beginning of the episode.
I'm dying, and I have one regret, and I have been saving your phone number for the whole time, and I've decided to call you right now as I die. And then it's revealed that we see a little montage of the doctor setting up the entire heist and like putting his hoodie that he owns on, and
we see him like hiring Sai and Sabra, jerking off an old man in a suit, recording his message, putting worms on the table,
breaking into the vault, and then walking right past the door that holds the thing that he's been trying to do.
Okay, but we do literally see flashes of him breaking into the vault alone and just putting cases around, which is so nuts. It's so easy.
And then we find out that the thing that it was not a heist. This feels like the most common Doctor Who line is, it's not a blank, it's a rescue mission. Mm-hmm. Or like, it's not a blank, it's a distress call. And then it turns out that the thing inside of there was another teller, and that's why they had 6 teleporters disguised as killing you machines that kill you. And then
they open the teller and there's a girl teller with a bow in her hair.
Sexy, really fucking hot teller, and she's got makeup on, and I just got so fucking turned on by looking at her. And then and
he says, that's why we have 6 teleporters.
They're rescuing the whole species, which can be reconstructed entirely with 2 guys. And then they take the...
Well, you better get to fucking and sucking.
You better fucking suck, and then your kids better fucking suck, and then their kids
better
fucking suck.
Oh no, they're elderly. Oh well. They can't repopulate the entire species,
but at least they have each other.
Still fucking suck.
It's like it's a moral victory. So they.
It is good that they did this.
Yeah, they take the teller. I like that. This is the way that they control the tellers by keeping a girl teller locked up in a closet for her whole life.
That is why it's working for them.
They take the girl and the boy teller to the grassy planet that nobody's around that they can do any sucking. So I guess their food source is gone.
Windows Elan 9.
You see Sonic and Elise running through a field, and then Anakin and Padme running through a field together.
So yeah, they let the Taylor and its girlfriend out, and they in the TARDIS with Sai and Sabra, they're eating Chinese takeout, and he's telling a funny story where Cesare Borgia took him to the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and he did a funny lean and said, "Looks normal to me."
I was hoping
everyone's
it would
laughing and having fun.
He like does the "I'm holding up the tower with my hands. You're gonna love this one in 500 years." And then
Clara hugs Sai goodbye, and he says, "I'm going to get back to the people I care about," or whatever. Sabra drinks her goo and hugs the Doctor and doesn't turn into him.
She realizes only too late that she could have turned into a Time Lord and had a really cool adventure.
She doesn't know he's a Time Lord. Little nitpick.
Actually, that's not true, because at the very beginning of the episode when they're listening to the recordings, it says what species they are, and his says, "I'm the Doctor, Time Lord, and I consent to having my memories wiped."
Little nitpick, the Doctor is like, "Okay, Clara, you better go to your date with Danny." And she's like, "Oh, but I just ate dinner." And they have a fucking time machine. She could just hang out for a day and then go meet with him for dinner tomorrow. But whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
So, yeah, she says, "Don't rob any banks." And he says, "Don't rob any banks what?" And she says, "Without me." And then the punchline of the episode, as she gets out of the TARDIS, he says, "Robbing a bank. Beat that for a date, Danny Pink."
Fuck you, Danny Pink. I still
because
am in
the
love with
whole
Clara.
episode was just him being jealous of Danny Pink.
He loves Clara. He wants to kiss her and make out with her and be her boyfriend.
Next time, the caretaker.
We did see. I do love when we go full circle with these. All right. This was a mess. This was one of those ones that I came in being like, wow, this episode, it's like our classic thing. When we just sit there and really look at all the ways that the episode is flimsy, it just really falls apart. But I feel like we like eviscerated the credularity.
It was fun to watch while I was watching it because I was waiting for the part where it would suddenly like have a payoff, and the payoff was so stupid.
It was so stupid, and then like when we break it down, it only got stupider. But it still was like I didn't hate watching it, so I do feel like I'm gonna give it a C. I'll
give it a C plus because I did enjoy watching it, even though it just shit in my mouth at the last second.
This one will slide off my brain so hard.
And it really does all hinge in the end on the Doctor meeting a woman and saying, "You're one of the most evil people I've ever met." But I can tell that there will come a day where you're gonna go, "I wish I was nicer to the teller."
She's just like me for real, he says, when he thinks about the guy that he saw on a TV screen for 30 seconds.
Yeah, fun to watch, not a good episode.
Very do you have any awards?
And also the vault was so boring and I was really mad about it.
No stunts. Everyone was literally being strung along by design.
Nobody took initiative, including the Doctor.
Yeah, like nobody dies, nobody explodes in a comical fashion. Yeah, no awards this week. Nothing.
What a shame.
Yeah. Now we have to pick another episode, Sandwich Doctor. Sorry if I'm rushing. I have to go to work soon.
No, I know.
No, I'm telling it to our listeners. They're like, why are
oh, yeah. Tenet.
I want Tenet. Sure. Give us a good Tenet.
It's Capaldi.
Oh, it's the one about...
This is a Bill one.
This is the one about the Doctor breaking his hip.
Series 10, Episode 12, The Doctor Falls.
What a stupid title. Did Steven write this one? It is
Yeah, it's Steven, directed by Rachel Calloway. Where does this fit into our...
the Doctor Falls.
Oh, this is the finale of... We're going to watch Bill die.
No! Wait, and then there's an episode after that called Twice Upon Time? They can't do that? Don't
Twice
they know?
Upon a Time.
Oh, okay. We're going to watch
Bill that'll be fun. We're going to get some kind of dramatic conclusion to the Missy story, the Bill story, the Nardole story.
It is like never. You know what's really funny is we've watched so much of this. It is never like for a second crossed my mind because I'm looking at the episode list and that Twice Upon a Time is the last episode with Capaldi. It is like never crossed my mind about what that regeneration is like because I know all the others. I guess I don't know what happens to the 13th Doctor.
Oh, I'm a girl now.
Yeah, like it's never even like crossed my mind, especially because Capaldi was a doctor for like a billion years. That like at some point we're gonna watch the episode where he's like, "Blimey, I've turned northern."
Yeah, it's not our final episode.
It's gonna
with
be
Capaldi,
it's gonna be like amazing because
obviously the final Capaldi episode is a Christmas special.
There's gonna be a joke. There's gonna be a joke when it happens that the doctor dies. He gets shot in the head by the master or whatever, or like Wilf shoots him, and then he dies and he regenerates. And then he looks in the mirror and and all of a sudden the doctor's Jodie Whittaker, sorry. And then and then the punchline is she goes, "Blimey, I'm northern," and it's like ha 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 ha.
I haven't been this in a while.
All right. So we have
I'm not going to look this one up to see the reception because I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah. Let's do our messages, our Patreon, and our end of show admin.
We are on Patreon at patreon.com/poddingbros. $1 gets you all of our bonus content. Hopefully we'll be able to record our next episode on Classic Doctor Who very soon. I watched it like a month ago at this point. $5 gets you a shout out in the podcast. You can send us a message that we'll read in whatever way you choose, if it's good or if it's bad. $10 gets you all that, and also you can listen to the podcast live while we record it. And we will clap for you when we shout you out. Thank you to our $5 and $10 subscribers. Cassidy, Christina Fitzgerald, Faustian Bargain Bin, Helga K, JCH, Roy, Stephanie Boulding, Stephanie Karen, Violet Magician, and House Me Souza, Destry Hawk, H Cave Sauceworks Verdigris.
Thank you.
We have a message.
Yeah.
Do you have time for it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Wow. Patreon, your UI is very good. Where are the messages? Holy shit. Oh, of course, it's under the community tab. Great.
Yeah.
Okay. We're supposed to pick a doctor for each other to voice.
Oh, that sucks. I don't want to do that, but I'll do Sam. I'll be nice and I'll let you do Jodie because I feel like that's the one that we're most confident on.
Okay. I think that you will be Matt Smith.
Oh dear. I do the drunken giraffe. Hippity hippity boo.
Do you want to be number 1 or number 2? Because neither of these is assigned.
I'll be number 1. I don't know what that means.
Okay.
You're sending me a short play. Okay. Oh lord, this is... Oh dear. Oh no, it's another one of those things where there's 2 of us again. How are we going to resolve it this time?
I'm all out of ideas. Maybe we should ask Agatha Christie to solve this mystery.
Oh, it turns out she's not clever at all. She just writes about stuff she saw happen. What about Mary Shelley? She's got quite the clever imagination. I'm turning into fucking what's his name into Seventh Doctor.
Oh, Silly McCoy.
Actually,
What?
turns out she's a hack too. It was just a Cyberman or something.
Oh, no, I thought she was clever.
Sorry, turns out every single clever writer actually isn't that clever at all.
Are you sure?
Yes, canonically every single author is just writing about stuff that really happened to them.
What a shame. I guess there's no one clever or imaginative enough to help us.
Hang on, I have an idea.
I hate this. I don't like where this is going. Yes, since every single author we've encountered is canonically an untalented fraud.
There's one author we never got to meet.
Exactly. She's bound to be the real deal. Thanks to David Tennant's script veto, we've never even met her. Hibbly-boobity-boo.
Meaning she's actually the only writer capable of true creativity ever. Let's go find her.
Thanks, J.K. Rowling.
Oh, you became silly.
I did. I love becoming silly.
Well,
that sucked. Thanks, Sauce.
It was good. It was
a good little short
hurt
play.
My
it
soul.
made my heart hurt, but yeah, definitely making us say that. I mean, we used to say on our older podcasts that you could make us say any slur in our funny voices.
I think we specifically said that you can't do that.
Oh, right.
But
We said
sometimes
we can't.
we did say that you can, I guess.
That's right.
We never did it. We wouldn't have done it.
We wouldn't have done it.
I think we were kind of trying to entrap our fans.
I think we were trying to trick our viewers, yeah.
We would report you to Patreon.
Yeah. All right, Sam, Noispace though?
Yeah, Noispace, Pot of Greed, Wow Cool Robot, Middlebrow Madness, I think, had a recent episode. Check them out. Check out podcasts.
Check out podcasts. Sorry for rushing this episode, but thank you all very much for listening. Sam, Doctor's Prayer, go!
May your life flow like a river. May your day smell sweet as a rose. May your life... I don't have it in front of me. May your nights be calm and still as a pond. May you be as lucky as an ace in a game of blackjack.
Harkness.
And may the doctor light your path through time and also listen to Sounds About Light.
Excelsior!
Excelsior and Dr. Bye.
Dr. Bye!